AI should help make your brain feel quieter in some sense and not make things a lot louder. So today we want to get into moving away from the busy work and hiring a tool such as Gemini. Now you could be using ChatGPT or one of the other, Claude or anything like that. But I specifically wanted to talk about Gemini, being that I'm in the process of becoming a certified Google instructor. If you've used Gemini before, you see how it can actually help you run your operations. What I'm going to do is get into a little screen share talking about when you're turning Gemini into your chief of staff. Now you should be seeing my Google Gemini screen. For the purposes of this particular example of us turning Gemini into your chief of staff, we're going to start with a couple examples. When I hop into Gemini, I want you to think of how you actually use AI. I've talked to some business owners who use it as a search engine. Like, so instead of how they would go to Google and they would search something, they would now pop it into something like Gemini or ChatGPT. But today I'm going to show you how to use Gemini as more of your right hand. So consider the person who preps for your meetings. Maybe you're filtering out your priorities and really just trying to protect your time. What I have now is a fresh, a prompt area open up with Gemini. First, we want to give Gemini its role. So we don't want to just ask a question. We want to hire it literally for this position, which is your chief of staff, helping you to protect your energy, time, and guiding your focus. I actually have the prompts already typed up for essence of time. Let me go ahead and copy that into this particular doc. Then I'll talk about it once I put it into the prompt area. Once I put this into the Gemini, you could see that I've given it a role. I'm letting it know that it's my executive chief of staff. The business is, and this is the area where you could put your particular niche. For myself, I put client experience and operations strategy. If you would like these prompts, I do have them inside of a note document that I could share with you. You can head on over to Instagram or even LinkedIn and be able to connect with me there, and I can send it to you via a private message. But basically, paste this prompt inside of Gemini. And so we would let it do its work. Now that it's acknowledged that it's accepted the role. It's even spiffy. It's talking about consider me officially in the seat. And now it just kind of defines, and you want to, so I put this in specific to just this example that we're talking about today. But if there's other criteria that you are interested for your particular needs based on what your business is, you can customize this. I just put simply that I wanted it to protect my time, prioritize high leverage tasks, and help me think strategically. For someone who maybe ADHD, you might say you wanted to break it down into like simple, digestible tasks. So it just depends on your personal preference and how you would like, you can customize that. So basically, if you look, now it's going to give you some continuing questions or percentages or things that you want to get into to customize it a bit more. What I crafted was more of a relatable use. And it's so funny because I actually do this at times because I feel that sometimes when you write out your task or your priorities, especially for the day or season that you're in, maybe it can get a little overwhelming. What I did was actually create this particular prompt and I put in some examples. So it's just giving it a messy list of the tasks that I have outlined for the day. So these are, say for instance, you need to work on an onboarding email for a client, reviewing. I know for me, there's probably always times that you need to update like your service pages. Maybe you need to reply, talking the follow-up piece, maybe even fixing broken automation that is affecting how the delivery of your services or products are. And so I just gave it about 5 to 7 tasks. Now, again, this could be whatever is on your agenda for the day. I could have even added things such as time commitments that I have for the day. But basically, this was the prompt, and I wanted it to think of money moves. If you've ever heard of that term, money generating task, I wanted it to think of it identifying what were the money moves, the energy drains, and then create this 3-step plan to get the high impact stuff done in 90 minutes. And now you could even take this further and say, I'm not sure if you've heard of the Pomodoro style. So there's times, especially when I'm feeling like I need to kind of focus in, I will work in that particular style. I actually have a YouTube video about a Chrome extension that they also have for it too, that helps you track and kind of sync up that data. And so we're just going to use this one for the particular example though. All right, so I'm letting it do its magic. So basically looking at the list, you can currently see it basically tells you some of the founder's trap where you're doing the $20 admin work and you should be focusing on the $500 an hour strategy. And so it gives out this filter and then goes, because I gave it that specific instruction of wanting it to be done in 90 minutes, then it goes into the specific structure and it breaks down the time blocks. Let me know, does this look realistic to you? Does this look like something that you have experience where you are going through your tasks or you're going through your day and you just need a clearer approach to being able to identify what is priority and what should be done and what shouldn't be done? And so I'm going to stop sharing now. I just gave those 2 examples, but if you wanted to take it even further, you could even use it as a way to basically digest it even further. Like maybe you wanted to put it down into like the step by step. Sometimes I do that when I feel like I want to get something done, but use a little less brain power because maybe I'm not at full thinking potential in that particular moment. But I want you to take away that I didn't just tell it to do it all. It told me to like fix the certain automations first so I don't lose leads. Finish, say if I'm working on a particular curriculum for a program, that becomes an asset to my business. So it told me to delegate different tasks that and leverage support in those areas. So bottom line is, I want you to try one of these use cases this week. Not 5, 1. I'm big on breaking down into actionable steps. If you are utilizing it, my suggestion is to paste your own to-do list and ask Gemini if it were your chief of staff. And you could also include your niche or your industry here if you would like. And maybe even ask a question of which 20% of these tasks will drive 80% of my results. You hear a lot of people getting into this phase of wanting to have like 4-day work weeks and things of that nature. This is a great way to decipher. I talked about the Eisenhower matrix model. And so this is even a way that you can instruct Gemini when it's your chief of staff to break down your task. So breaking down the important and urgent task or the important not urgent task, all the way down to basically the 4th quadrant where it talks about tasks that really aren't important, they aren't urgent, and they should be delegated or either not even done at all. If you do, definitely send me a message. You can even tag me if it's something that you share as a story or a post with your results. I love to see like action and, like people actually being able to benefit from the information that's shared. We're going into Notebook LM, which is also another tool underneath the Google Workspace catalog of tools. And so we're going to be in that particular session talking about organizing your entire library of thinking in that aspect. If you're a coach or a creator or just someone looking for a better way to build a knowledge base. So I'm excited about that. As always, I am hoping that this was helpful and I'm always cheering you on. Love y'all.